Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there was a beautiful girl named Snow White, and her stepmother was always jealous. And when she grew older, becoming more beautiful, her stepmother wanted to have her killed. So Snow White ran away from home and found a little house in the woods and thought to herself, "Oh, this small house, little people must live here," and let herself in. And the 7 dwarfs came home later on, and the dwarf said, "Someone's been sitting in my chair." Another said, "Someone's been eating off my plate," along with someone taking some of my bread, eating some of my vegetables, and using my fork, cutting with my knife, and been drinking out of my mug. Also, our beds have been slept in. And there was Snow White sleeping in one of their beds. As the morning came, she woke up and told the dwarfs, "My stepmother wished to have me killed and I needed to run away." So the dwarf said, "We will let you stay only if you clean our home and cook for us," but warned her and said, "Your stepmother would find where you are and to be on the lookout for her and to be sure to let no one in." Snow White was alone all day, every day, while the dwarfs were in the mountains. After the dwarfs went on their way that day, while the queen asked the mirror a few questions, then the mirror said, "Snow White is alive and well." The queen grew with anger. She painted her face in just as an old woman, whoosh, whoosh, and went on her way to find Snow White and kill her. She went into the woods and found a little home at the end of the forest and yelled, "Good things to sell, for cheap, for cheap. Come on to the other side of the forest and buy." Snow White said, "Go away, I cannot." The old woman said, "I suppose you can look." She pulled out a poisonous comb and said, "I will comb you properly for once." Snow White didn't even think anything and left her. The poison took effect and she dropped to the ground. The woman said, "You are done for now," and she went away. The dwarfs came home and seen what happened to Snow White and suspected it was the stepmother. They found the comb along the ground and knew. Finally, Snow White woke up due to the comb being inactive and told them what had happened. They once again warned her and told her, "Be on your guard and open the door to no one." The queen returned home and asked the mirror, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who in this land is the fairest of them all?" The mirror's response was, "Snow White is still alive and well, and no one is as fair as she." When the queen heard that, she shook with rage and said, "Snow White shall die," she cried, "even if it costs my life." With all of her witchcraft, she made a very poisonous apple. It looked very pretty on the outside, but whoever ate it was sure to die. But on the other hand, she left a window open as she was making this apple, and the huntsman, seeing the smoke coming from this window, and poked his head out to see what was going on. The evil stepmother was singing, "Today's the day Snow White shall die. Once she takes a bite, she should surely die. Then I will be the most beautiful of all." With laughter, she dressed as an old country woman, whoosh, whoosh, and went on her way. The huntsman knew he couldn't just let this happen. He went on his way. And so did the stepmother. So she once again convinced Snow White to come on the other side. The 7 dwarfs would be very upset with me if they knew I had left, said Snow White. The woman said, "I shall get rid of these apples, so I will give you one for free." Snow White answered with a mean, snappy attitude, "No, I shall not take anything." The woman continued to hassle her. Snow White, staring at the apple, "Why, it is a very beautiful red apple. You know I'm a bit hungry. I was just about to start cooking for my dwarfs, but I guess a little apple won't do anything to my dinner." As soon as Snow White was just about to bring her lips upon the apple and sink her teeth into it, she started to hear yelling, "No, Snow White, don't eat that dangerous apple." The huntsman said as he grabbed the apple and threw it, "She poisoned that apple, and you would surely die. I've seen her and heard her making it." The queen ran and left the huntsman and Snow White confused with anger. But years later, the old woman's karma came back to her, and she was left alone and no one by her side. Losing her castle, as she was looking for food in the same woods that the dwarves and Snow White lived, she found a ripe red apple. She was so hungry, she grabbed it and took the biggest bite, and as soon as she did, this time her poison was successful, and she dropped to the ground. But on the bright side, Snow White and the huntsman got married, got the castle back, and they lived happily ever after. The end.